Welcome to Let's Go Racing. I'm Dani Gibson here with Dick Jerardi. On today's show, we have some exciting local races. We're going to talk about the National Thoroughbred League, plus meet a promising young filly for our 5-time leading trainer, Jamie Ness. Plus, we have national races from around the country. We are still coming off our PA Derby buzz here, but we still have good horse racing to watch.
We do have good horse racing, and this is a wild weekend, as we're going to get into coming up. A final really big Breeders' Cup prep weekend, Dani, but huge race up in New York that we're going to get to in a minute, with Jamie Ness having the most prominent 2-year-old he's ever had in his barn, but in local races and the racing league, it's all still happening here in October.
What's so exciting about now is this is where the 2-year-olds start ramping up, and we see what we have for next year.
Absolutely.
Gotta love it. All right, well, let's get to some local racing. This was our Parx Picks. We're going to take a look at Monday's 8th race. 10,000 claiming horses going that mile and 70 yards. Our post-time favorite ended up being the number 6 Bourbon Calling for Cheeto's, having quite the year. Yeah,
Cheeto is having quite the year. This horse ran at Saratoga. It was actually claimed up at Saratoga. Ran once there, now back here to Parx for Top Notch and Cheeto, and they have been just on fire the entire year.
Yeah, Handsome Son by Dialed In. Dialed In have done very well at Parx. Well, Assembly Point, my pick, the Brazilian bred, was our second choice.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with this horse. And Paco, by the way, was coming into this race 5 shy of 4,000. Could he get any closer?
Yeah, we're going to talk about him later in the show. And we have a fill-in announcer this week, Gabe Pruitt, filling in for Jess. Here's the call of the race.
As they circle the opening turn, it's Brilliant Chase with a neck advantage over It Was the Devil's Idea. More Rewards begins to flank the top pair 3 wide, just a 3 parts of a length off the lead. The opening quarter was 23-4. As they move on to the backstretch, Assembly Point races wide at the 4th spot. Bourbon Calling, try to generate some momentum there between horses in 5th. Last Romance 6th, and at the back, Yes Sir Colonel, as they move midway across the backstretch. It's Brilliant Chase dead at the inside. Mo Rewards up there to engage there, so it's those two match strides towards the far turn. Assembly Points continues to thread through in the 3rd spot. The half is up in 48 seconds. As they move on to the far turn, Bourbon Calling methodically making his way up. He's 2 lengths off the top now, 4th. It Was the Devil's Idea. Needs to pick things up at the 5th spot. Yes Sir Colonel's out of between horses. Last Romance is last. As they move around the turn towards the top of the stretch, that's Mo Rewards who is taken over the lead. Assembly Point runs on with them. So those two are by the 3/4 mark in 1:13-1. Brilliant Chase is giving way dead at the inside as they cut the quarter and turn for home. Mo Rewards battles on with Assembly Point dead at the inside. Bourbon Calling. It's last call here for Bourbon Calling, but he's starting to rally with Mo Rewards battling on, but drifting in. Mo Rewards and Bourbon Calling are battling down to the finish. It's Mo Rewards to the outside of Bourbon Calling. Mo Rewards.
Mo Rewards and apprentice Francisco Martinez get the win. And what's so cool about this, we're going to talk about him later, but that was his 4th win on the card. He did get the chance to ride this horse back in May up in New York, and he said he didn't feel like he was really fit. He was coming in from California. He wanted to ride him the same way, and boy did he ever. Got the nice win there for trainer Jamie Ness.
5-1 on Jamie Ness. You don't get that very often. How about the exact of Ness over Cheeto, the top 2 trainers here at the track? And why did us have neither
I
of them?
don't know.
What are we doing?
Assembly Point, Paco, they were making a run. They kind of fell back to a disappointing 3rd.
We need to reevaluate.
Yeah. Ness and Cheeto, we're going to bet them next time, that's for sure. Well, a lot of exciting things coming up at Parx, and on October 19th, the National Thoroughbred League will be here. It's 10 teams from around the country, and Dr. J's involved.
Julius Erving, for people, all Sixers fans remember, 1983 champion, Hall of Famer. In fact, 4 of the top 6 players from that team are in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Moses Malone, Mo Cheeks, Bobby Jones, Dr. J. What a squad that was. Can the Sixers ever win the title again? And Dr. J will be here on the 19th. Not only that, but it's also Hall of Fame Day. So get out here that Saturday on the 19th.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day. Cool way to get new fans into the sport. And here's our executive director, Jeff Maddie, with more on the day. Jeff, we're going to be hosting a big day, the National Thoroughbred League. Tell us about it.
So it's October 19th. The PTHA and Parx are very excited to welcome the National Thoroughbred League, known as NTL, in the racing circuit. They started off at Kentucky Downs. They're making their way here on October 19th, and then they're going to go out west. I think they're going to go down to Tampa and a few other things. It's this new racing league. It's trying to encourage new fans. The Pennsylvania, Philadelphia team is owned by Dr. J. world-renowned Dr. J, former Philadelphia 76ers player, NBA Hall of Famer, obviously. So trying to incorporate that sport life with thoroughbred racing. We're very excited. They're going to host 5 races, so they're going to put up the purse money for that. And the thing I can stress more to our horsemen is that every single horseman is eligible. It's basically a regular day, so when you see it in the condition book, enter as if it's a regular race. It's just going to have the title of an NTL race, and it's their way of trying to promote the sport, trying to get into different avenues. And I think Dr. J, they have Lamar Jackson down in Baltimore, so it's going to be very exciting to see where this goes.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun, not only for our owners and trainers, but for our fans to see something new.
For sure, and they've been trying this for a few years now, so hopefully it really gets off the ground. I think we have a 3-year partnership if it goes well, so hopefully it's the first of many years.
I hope we have a packed day here at Parx on October 19th. Well, we're going to go to our first break, but don't go anywhere because you're going to meet a promising 2-year-old filly for the Jamie Ness Barn. Stick around, we'll see you after this break.
Social Fortress and Jaime Rodriguez still have a commanding lead.
The Excite Center at Parx Casino, the region's hottest live entertainment venue. Check out your favorite concerts, comedy, boxing, MMA, all at the #1 casino in Pennsylvania. Don't miss the hilarious Steve Trevino on Saturday, November 23rd, plus funny lady Kathleen Madigan on Saturday, December 7th. Don't miss these 2 exciting headliners, only at the Excite Center inside Parx Casino. Parx Casino, this is how you win. This is how you win. Tickets on sale now.
The question a lot of people are asking themselves these days is, do I buy new or do I buy pre-owned? Here's what I'll tell you. New car inventories are still low and new car prices are still high. However, with the certified pre-owned Nissan at Chapman Nissan, we have a huge selection and you can save thousands over new. Plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, roadside assistance, 1-year prepaid maintenance, and so much more. And not for nothing. Can you really tell the difference? I can't.
Racehorses are pampered,
treated with care, and loved.
Nothing is more important than their health and their safety.
We do right by them,
and they do right by us.
the hard-working folks
who proudly earn our living
in Pennsylvania's horse racing
and breeding industries.
Horse racing is a lot of fun.
But it's so much more.
It provides tens of thousands of jobs.
Jobs, and billions in economic impact each year.
All across the Commonwealth.
Horse racing in Pennsylvania. It's a winner.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing. Well, 2-year-olds gets any trainer and owner excited, and meet Social Fortress, a 2-year-old filly, and the Jamie Ness Barn.
Yeah, Joe Mbasi bred and owns, and this is fascinating backstory here. Phil Aristone actually trained the mother, Cold-Hearted Pearl, very briefly, claimed her for his buddy Joe Mbasi, and I wrote about all of it on Let'sGoRacingParx.com this week. It's a great backstory, how Jamie Ness ended up with this horse. He'd never had horses for Joe before. Jamie is no stranger to winning races, right? 44-44 the last I looked, but he's never had a 2-year-old with this kind of promise. Social Fortress broke her maiden by 11 at Delaware, won the sorority at Monmouth by 7. Now this is a really difficult field she's coming up against. Jamie is very excited, as is the owner, Joe Mbasi, and here they are.
You've had some really good wins. How excited are you about the young 2-year-old filly that won the sorority by a pole, Social Fortress?
Well, we liked her from the day she was foaled. She was the first crop that we had once we sent to Florida. We thought we could raise better horses down there with more grass and more sunshine. So she's basically the first foal from the first crop to run. She showed it. She went to a training center in Florida and just showed she was out of this world right from the get-go. She just didn't belong with the other horses. Now she's come up here. I gave Jamie fair warning that he had something special.
I don't remember you having a 2-year-old filly quite like Social Fortress, who was so impressive winning the sorority. What's the deal with her?
Well, I mean, to be determined. You know, she's so far she's 2 for 2 and 2 runaway wins. You know, and you know, right when she came in from Joe, that they liked her at the farm, and she did everything right away. So, and right off the bat, we knew that she was pretty good. Either she was really good or the rest of them were really bad, because she was blown away, but she ended up being really good. So it's been great. She's easy to train. No, good horses are easy to train. They really are. It'd be nice to have a barn full of her, but you know, she's special. You know, and she's we don't know how good she is. We're, you know, I'm sure that test is going to come soon enough. You know, probably the next race. But you know, so far she's 2 for 2, did everything right, and 2 runaway wins, and and on to better.
We're really excited for them, and you're going to see her in the Grade 1 Frazette Stakes up at Belmont at Aqueduct. And Butch Reed has Colonel Bob in the Champagne as well.
Yeah, interesting. And Colonel Bob's in a very difficult spot. I mean, there's some good horses in there, including Chancer McPatrick, who won the Hopeful for Chad. But I am fascinated to see how this filly does, because I've been dazzled by how she runs. She doesn't have the numbers yet. Man, she looks like she might be big time.
Let's turn our attention to some national races. We're going to head out to Santa Anita. It's the $1 million California Crown Stakes. A mile and an eighth. Bob Baffert sends out first and second choice here.
Yeah, Muth at 3-2, almost came here to the PA Derby, and he's got Newgate at 7-1. He's got National Treasure at 8-5. He's got half the field in there, as he usually does.
He does. Well, here is the call of the California Crown Stakes.
It's National Treasure, uncontested now. Opens up a 2-length lead on Katona in second. Muth inches up outside Subsanador. Those two stride for stride and only 2 lengths off of National Treasure. Newgate is close, and under a very firm hold is Newgate with 4 lengths to make up. He's 4 in front of Senor Buscador. Flavian Pratt and National Treasure past the 5/8 pole in charge, 1.5 lengths to Katona in second. Muth red cap 3 deep in third. At the rails, Subsanador with Newgate just behind him, still 4 lengths off the lead with less than a half mile to travel in the California Crown. Senor Buscador is now 8 lengths off the pace, which has been set by National Treasure. National Treasure every step of the way to Katona. Muth on the outside gets his cue. At the rails, Subsanador still 4, not much change in the running order since the gate open. National Treasure carving out all the fractions, still well within himself at the top of the stretch, and he turns for home with a 2-length lead. Subsanador comes out to chase him home, and in the center of the track, Newgate is bearing down in third. Here comes Newgate with big strides after National Treasure. National Treasure, Subsanador, and Newgate. 3 of them line up in an absolute thriller. Subsanador in between horses. Here's the line. Subsanador.
Subsanador gets the win here. It's a 3-way finish with him sticking his head out. And you got to give credit. Jessica Pfeiffer, she's Phil D'Amato's stepdaughter. She actually was one of the Eclipse Award finalists, but she gave this horse out right before the race. Said she breezed with him and just loved his energy. And 6-1, that's a really good price on Subsanador.
Yeah, Richard Mandela and 59-year-old ageless Mike Smith does it again. And National Treasure ran a phenomenal race. He'll come back in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. I couldn't believe Muth got bet like this. He didn't have any kind of numbers. I didn't like his works at all, which is why I knew he wasn't coming here. I was surprised to get bet like that. And Newgate will be dangerous in the Classic, which is totally wide open as we head to the finish line here a month out.
Could we see our BC Classic winner with Newgate? Who will know? Well, let's keep it going. Let's go to Churchill Downs. This is the Grade 2 Lucas Classic, named after the legendary Dean Wayne Lucas, a mile and an eighth, and Disarm for Steve Asmussen's post-time favorite.
Yeah, I didn't get this either, Danny. I mean, this horse just doesn't win that often.
No.
3 for 13, comes from 50 miles behind, and some decent numbers, but man, I would not have played this horse as the favorite.
And what a weekend for these connections. Hit Show, Brad Cox, Florent Giroux, Gary and Mary West, second choice.
It's one of the great combinations in the sport. Clearly, they are always dangerous when they're in.
Here it is, the Lucas Classic.
So it is Cook Creek out there showing the way, and Stiletto Boy comes on to stock from second, and Warrior Johnny moves with them to make it 3 across the track early. 2.5 lengths back to Hit Show, who settles toward the rail racing in fourth. Bullsy's 5th by 5. Rattle and Roll is out in 6th. Happy Americans in 7th. And Disarm is last down the backstretch run with an opening quarter in 23-3 on the front end. And on the front end, it's Cook Creek. Cook Creek leading the way just under a length. Right there, Stiletto Boy second. Warrior Johnny continues on with them on the outside. Third, the 3 of them continue on past the half-mile pole. Tracking them is Hit Show in 4th, 3 lengths farther back. 5 more back. Rattle and Roll trying to go past Bullsy. Disarm is under pressure at the back of the pack, but is out of last. Happy American is the trailer as they round the far turn. The leader is Cook Creek. Cook Creek heading for the quarter pole. Warrior Johnny now in second. Hit Show's now in third. From the back of the pack, Rattle and Roll revs up. Far outside fourth. Bullseye cut the corner fifth. Disarm with a lot of work to do. They're off the turn and heading for the eighth pole. Cook Creek trying to tough it out, but Hit Show's coming on from the outside. Warrior Johnny is green in behind. Disarm had to dive to the rail. Rattle and Roll final 16th. Hit Show's up for the lead. Cook Creek tries to fight with Hit Show. Is doing so. Cook Creek coming back on Hit Show, but Hit Show determined.
Hit Show gets a classic flow ride to get that win, and boy, he's just such an aggressive jockey. Gotta love it.
Yeah, up by a neck late. That's now 6 of 13 lifetime, over $1 million. Hit Show. Pretty cool horse. A little less than the top group, but not far behind.
Yeah. Well, let's go to New York. This is the Grade 2 Woodward Stakes. A mile and a $400,000. Nice purse there. Skippy Longstocking. We love him as our post-time favorite.
4 to 5, coming off a giant win in the Charlestown Classic, which he's won a couple of years in a row. We've seen him here, obviously, in PA. He's sitting right on $3 million. Skippy has had a hell of a run for Saffy Joseph.
Let's talk about Crouppy, second choice. Todd Pletcher sending him out.
Yeah, Todd's got a bunch of horses in there that are live. Crouppy, obviously, Tappet Trice, who runs some really good ones from time to time. Short field, pretty good horses.
All right, let's go to New York for the Woodward.
They're still chasing Mask Parade through a 47 seconds flat. Half-mile time. Skippy Longstocking tries to move in closer now. Mask Parade, the big long shot, has still got some run. It's Mask Parade with less than a half-mile to go. Skippy Longstocking starts to move in. Tappet Trice made that early move, is down towards the inside, and now Crouppy is in gear for Rat Ortiz Jr. As the new leader ranging up on the outside will be Skippy Longstocking and Manny Franco, and they are now a half length in front of Mask Parade, who's back to second. Crouppy starts to get going. Orange Cap up on the outside. Tappet Trice just had to steady in behind Mask Parade, who's not done yet as they reach the top of the stretch. 1:11 and 4 for 3/4 of a mile, and Skippy Longstocking is trying to win it right here. It's Skippy Longstocking who now straightens up, has a final furlong to get. Skippy Longstocking is now drawing away. Tappet Trice is ranging up on the outside, gets some clear running room, has every shot to run this leader down. Skippy Longstocking is now weary here in the late stages. Tappet Trice is lunging. Tappet Trice gets up and wins it.
Tappet Trice getting that win there with jockey Dylan Davis, and boy, he really stepped up into that elite company this summer. A lot of wins up at Saratoga, and we see him really getting the big chances on these big horses.
Yeah, no doubt. Tappet Trice has always been one of those, man, if he could ever put it together horses, he'll probably be entered in Breeders' Cup Classic. Also, Skippy Longstocking looked like he had it, then he didn't. Saffy's talking about him. It's going to be overflow in the Breeders' Cup Classic, and they're coming from all over the world, Japan, England, everywhere. Look out. It will be a wild scene at Del Mar.
It's a wide open Breeders' Cup Classic. Well, we're going to do another break, but you don't want to miss anything because when we come back, we have Best of the Rest, Jockeying Turn of the Week, all coming up on the other side.
This is Parx.
This is how you roll, this is how it goes. This is how you pop, this is how you rock. Take a chance, do a dance, little romance. This is how you. This is how you excite, this is how you all night. 360 hit me, now we're going all in. I can feel it calling, the crowd, the light, the night, the sights, the vibe is right. This is how you. This is
Parx, Pennsylvania's #1 casino experience. This is how you win.
The Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association is the advocate for Parx Racing's horsemen and has worked hard to secure better lives for the hundreds of trainers and their families that work in the thoroughbred racing industry. Our horsemen benefit from medical coverage, trainer pension plans, and increased purses. Thanks to these horsemen, racing at Parx is the very best, providing entertainment for you and the entire family. The Pennsylvania Horsemen are proud to be part of the community and introduce a new generation of fans to the sport of kings.
PA Bred, I think we've built a brand at this point.
It's excitement at every step.
Roses for Deborah just set a new track record.
On average, for the past decade, Pennsylvania paid over $28 million a year in Breeders' Awards, restricted races, and owner bonuses. Plus, PA Bred shine on the world's biggest stage. Just 3 states have bred more Breeders' Cup winners. Learn more at pabred.com.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing. Let's turn our attention to this week's Jockey of the Week, sponsored by NovaCare. Congratulations to apprentice jockey Francisco Martinez. He had an incredible 4 wins on Monday and 1 on Tuesday. Jockey of the Week is sponsored by NovaCare, the power of physical therapy. Now it's time for this week's Trainer of the Week. The PTHA proudly partners with the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Congratulations to this week's Trainer of the Week, Howard Roger Brown Jr. He had 2 wins on Monday, a great day for the small stable. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation proudly partners with the PTHA to bring this week's Trainer of the Week. Now it's time for this week's Turning for Home Family Photo of the Week, Tokian. What's so cool about him, he ran at 7 different racetracks in 24 of his races. He's now retired through Universal Performance Horses. That's one of our Turning for Home partner farms. He now lives in Tennessee with his adopter, Ren. They've been a smash in the show ring, and they're going to head out to Kentucky for the Retired Racehorse Project. Danielle Montgomery will be there. We're going to have a lot of Turning for Home horses, I think about 12 competing, and it's a really good collaboration with racing and after racing coming together, and it's just a big celebration.
Yeah, it's a cool deal for sure.
Yeah, really looking forward to see how Tokian does. Well, let's get to best of the rest. We're going to go to New York. This is the Grade 1 Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. Long race too, 1.5 miles, 500,000, and Get Smokin' is out there setting the pace.
Yeah, Get Smokin' setting the pace, but it's all about Warlike Goddess. Can she win this race against the boys for the 3rd straight year as a 7-year-old? At Farbridge, the 7 is going to come up the rail. When he comes up the rail, he wins. He's going to get there, not by a lot, over Warlike Goddess, just denied our 3rd straight Turf Classic.
Oh, we love Warlike Goddess and classic Joel Rosario ride. Let's go to Santa Anita. It's the Grade 2 City of Hope. It's 1 mile on the turf, $200,000. We're going to see Conclude out there doing his thing.
Yeah, and it's all about the 3, Johannes, who is undefeated, 7 for 7 on the West Coast turf courses. He'll be one of the favorites for the BC Mile. It's interesting, no California horse has won this race in 20 years. It's hard to believe. This is the Euro dominant, but man, Johannes for Tim Yaktine and Rispoli, hot horse on a roll.
Ooh, he's picking off horses one by one. You gotta love it. Let's go back to New York. This is the Grade 3 Vosburg Stakes, 7 furlongs, $250,000 is on the line, and Dean delivers with our buddy Ned Allard is out on the lead.
Out on the lead for Ned. Can't hold on because it's going to be all about the 6, the Chilean bred Mufasa is going to come and roll by. I mean, and I do mean roll by for Nacho Correas, win this by a bunch. The East Coast sprinters are not very good. They have been the last couple of years, so much so that Correa said after the race, we're going for the dirt mile. We're not even going to try the sprint against the Californians like the Chosen Vron and that crew. They want no parts of that.
Yeah, and the 7 furlongs and the 1 mile is not that big of a difference, and boy, he did it great on the sloppy track.
Indeed.
Well, let's go to Oklahoma at Remington Park. This is the Grade 3 Oklahoma Derby. 3-year-olds going 1 mile and 1/8, and Brad Cox, Gary and Mary West, Florent Giroux, most wanted, setting the pace here.
Yeah, this is a son of Beach Walk, and if you're thinking that name sounds familiar, well, Gary and Mary West sold another son of Beach Walk. I said, we're not doing that again. That was Life is Good. We're not selling another one of them. This horse is now undefeated, most wanted. It's been there the whole way. It's just a tough horse at 4 to 5. I think they thought about the PA Derby a little bit. This horse is now 4 for 4. Big things to look forward to for him next year.
Yeah, you could see he's an intelligent horse. He's just waiting for Flo to tell him when to run. Really like to see that. Well, let's go to this week's PTHA Trophy race at Parx. It was Tuesday's opener, the first race, and you're going to see my man Woody out there on the lead, but here comes Navy Rules.
Navy Rules for Scott Lake and Scott Lake. Scott trains and owns this one, and Scott won many races. Oh, he's number 6 all time, and he's going to win this with Navy Rules by 2 at the wire, at the Lake Mat.
Well, it's time for us to go to our final break, but stick around. When we come back, we have Parx Picks, plus Craig Donnelly. We're all going to try to make you some money, plus a big announcement for Nisi Marie, all coming up.
This is Parx.
This is how you roll, this is how it goes. This is how you pop, this is how you rock. Take a chance, do a dance, little romance. This is how you. This is how you excite, this is how you all night. 360 hit me, now we're going all in. I can feel it calling, the crowd, the light, the night, the sights, the vibe is right. This is how you. This is
Parx, Pennsylvania's #1 casino experience. This is how you win.
Racehorses are pampered.
Treated with care and loved.
Nothing is more important than their health and their safety.
We do right by them,
And they do right by us.
the hard-working folks
who proudly earn our living
In Pennsylvania's horse racing
and breeding industries.
Horse racing is a lot of fun.
But it's so much more.
It provides tens of thousands of jobs.
Jobs. And billions in economic impact each year.
All across the Commonwealth.
Horse racing in Pennsylvania. It's a winner.
Welcome back, everybody, to Let's Go Racing. Well, this is my favorite segment, Parx Picks. DJ and I try to make you some money. We're going to look ahead to Monday's 9th race. This is the hard-knocking claimers, $15,000 if you could put that up to claim them, a mile and 70 yards. I think we're going to do the same trainer here, right?
Yes, we are. One of us is going to get it right here. Let's see.
Well, I'm going to go with It's Game Time. I love this horse. Frankie Pennington knows this horse. When he's aboard him, that means they're getting in the winner's circle. I like his numbers, and I think he's really tactical, and I think he's going to pounce on your horse.
Well, there you go. I like greener pastures. We're not bypassing Jamie Ness anymore. First off, the claim for Jamie. He's good at everything. He's really good at this, 30%, and he's having another year.
Yeah, Michael's aboard. They mean business. Well, let's see what Craig thinks of next week's card.
My selection on Monday is in the 9th race, something we all aspire to. The horse is named Greener Pastures. And what I'm impressed by in his second start off a layoff, he absolutely had to wait for room for half a mile going into the far turn and into the stretch. When he finally got room, he was collared, fought back very gamely, won a narrow decision. A couple other pluses. One is that he was claimed by Jamie Ness, who wins with 30% off the claim, and Michael Sanchez, who won on him that day, is back aboard. So I look, even though he's stepping up a bit in class, I think he'll be able to handle that, and progress is anticipated.
All right, it's time for Eye on Racing. Today's a really big day for Breeders' Cup prep races around the country. What can we look for?
Yeah, all weekend, Danny. We talked about the ones in New York involving local horses here, but BAQ, also Keeneland, Santa Anita, and this is the final big weekend. So watch and get out your videos and get ready for the Breeders' Cup a month from today.
I love when Keeneland opens. Well, talking about the Breeders' Cup, the PA-bred filly Nisi Marie. They think they're going to do it, right?
Yeah, mile and 3/8 Breeders' Cup filly and mare turf on Saturday at Del Mar. Originally, because she wasn't nominated, there was a big expense. They were thinking maybe we're not going to do this, but Kentucky Downs was willing to put up $60,000 for the entry fees. That really helped them because Kentucky Downs wants to win some Breeders' Cup races. Horses coming from there, so Nisi Marie will get her chance. And I am being told that they're getting Joel Rosario. That Ron Anderson is committed that Joel will ride the filly out there in California.
Oh, well, that's so cool. Well, I'm hopping in Nisi's suitcase.
There you go.
I'm going to hop right in her tack trunk. She won't even notice I'm in there. Well, our man Paco Lopez just a couple of wins away from hitting a big career milestone with 4,000 wins. Really looking forward to that. I see a future Jockey of the Week on our hands.
Yeah, see if he can do it this weekend. If not, maybe next week at Parx.
Paco knows how to win. Well, that wraps it up for us, but we are live racing here at Parx Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 12:40 post time. Thanks for watching DJ and I, and we'll catch you next week on Let's Go Racing.
And they're off. Skippy Longstocking has early speed. We the people from in between horses. Taba has got the lead now. It's Taba in the center of the racetrack, but Taba is drawing away, and Taba with Mike Smith, they win the Bet Parx Pennsylvania Derby.